Allison Sinclair is the best person because she brought chocolate pound cake. Hold on, I'm going to go back so the world before I go to the Twitters.
I told you all we were having a master's party yesterday, and it's not chocolate pound cake, but some sort of pound cake is traditional at the Masters. I did not make it,
chocolate,
but I would have eaten the whole thing. So welcome to Monday. We have lemon squares, chocolate cake, and banana bread.
You know what? And it's on one of those days where I picked my son up from the car shop because he's selling his car, giving it a once over, and then he's selling it. Thank the Lord. And then we went to Enterprise and had such a delightful time. It's my favorite.
As I hear.
Well, yeah, my favorite. And we'll do that in a second. And then Allison walks in with treats. And I'm like, it's all worth it. It's all worth it. So everybody, I'm Amy Beth. She's Allison. He's JP. Apparently people, never mind, JP. Wow, you're with us. It's our team.
Don't know what.
I just saved myself. We're a team, everybody. He's with us. It's JP. We're the right side.
Everybody loves JP.
They love him.
He is a hot commodity right now. And
we
I
can't
be
help
like,
it.
No, he's happy.
He's real happy. And also, you want us finding him a wife. We don't trust you. Okay. So part of our job that we covenanted to his dad, not quite the covenant between like God and Moses, but like a covenant. We are actively seeking a wife for JP. And this is only a job that Abs and Al can do.
That's true.
So take your nonsense and just enjoy it. But he's the team. We're the team. This is us. We're the right side. We're the right place at the right time. God put us together. And Allison brought us chocolate.
Everybody wants a JP.
Is there a song about that?
We can make one up. Everybody wants a JP. Yeah, yeah. Everybody wants a JP. But they can't have them because Abs will cut your throat. I will cut you. If we didn't cover that on Friday with our prison sentences, we need to go back and watch it.
We should. Because as much as we say, I figured it all out, it's the instigator, the enforcer, and Sarge is our group from our prison convo.
Sarge.
Did your kids watch it and say, oh, Mom? Because mine were falling out over it.
Allison's family was.
Yeah. My kids don't have any clue what I do. I don't think they've ever watched it. Well, no, Connor has watched the show, but they don't know. But my family.
Peace, Connor.
Yeah. They, and because JP came over for the master's party.
Oh, darling.
We have so many stories.
It was a very.
But everybody recognized JP and they're like, oh my gosh, I rewatched the prison thing. And then one of my cousins said that her and my sister-in-law could run the prisons better than us.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought,
come at us, sisters.
You want to duel this out?
Water pistols.
But we didn't do that.
Yeah, that was the first thing when I walked in was the prison video that they were talking about.
Did that go crazy over the weekend? Because like my kids act like I'm crazy if I send it to them. They're like, we already saw it. It's funny.
Huh.
And then I saw Chris and he almost spit out his drink laughing at the very end. He laughed the whole way through. But anyway, that was funny.
My non-political high school friends that follow me on Instagram saw it and see our clips and they were talking about it.
I mean, I just.
If you missed it, you can go to our socials, Rightside Media, and watch. The question was, who would last longer in prison, me or Abs? And then JP, because he's so smart. He's so wise. Broke it down. And yeah, I'm not sure where we got. We never answered the question of who would last longer. It almost seemed like we needed both of us there.
It's part two. This is the answer. See, what we were doing was radio theater. We were doing live streaming theater so that you would tune in on Monday, almost like it was on purpose. We go together. We go together. So prison will run better if we're there.
Yeah.
We're a team.
But how about we just don't go to prison?
I'm not going to prison.
Find out.
We're going to re-education camp and y'all are probably going too. And we still haven't worked out who's top bunk. Doesn't matter. JP's going. He's going to be on the other side. But, so the answer is all of us together in prison. That's how it's going to go. all of us together at re-education camp, but I'm probably sure they're going to separate out men and women because in that instant, they're going to figure out who are men and who are women, just the way it goes.
Hey, good point.
So, guys, let us discuss the master's party. And then maybe may I ask for your opinion after the master's party and these delicious treats that Allison has bought? Did I lose my temper at Enterprise Car Rental this morning?
Your son thinks you did.
Did you see Will?
Mm-hmm.
Did he say mom lost it?
She was like,
she went all prison.
I think he said, you got something.
I got agitated.
Yeah,
I got agitated.
I think their reasoning was really. Go ahead and tell the story, or we can do masters first. But they are not in the 2026 world.
Well, they're not, and we go in, and Will's booked it, and he's done all the things, and the things that you're like, these are men. Like he's handling his life.
Yeah.
So I go in as support staff. And I'm just there. And the guy's like, all right, fine. We've got this. Here's the option. Oh, I need a physical copy of your credit card.
No. Don't say physical copy because
we need your credit card.
Threw me off. Yeah.
We need your credit card.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, ding, ding. And he goes, oh, can't. You can't. I need a copy of your card. I'm like,
no, he needs the card.
And I'm like, no, what do you mean? It's on my phone. He goes like, no, I needed it out of your wallet. I need the plastic to dip in the back of the machine. Yes, sir. You apparently do. I said, I don't have it. He said, well, do you have your debit card? And I'm like, right here. He goes, because if you use a debit card, Will can get a minivan. Because that's what all 22-year-olds want to drive. And I was like, no, don't have that either. His sister has my card in Auburn. Forgot to get it. He was like, well, then you can't have a car. I was like, you can't have a car? I was like, well, describe your debit card and like insert. He's like, I can't. Dad cut my card in half.
Oh.
This is last week when he thought the wallet was lost.
Oh, I thought he was spending too much.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
And so, no. So that didn't work. And I just gather myself. I did that. I breathed out and I was like, okay, can we just come back later? And Will goes, Mom, hey, how about you step over here? I'll handle it.
Oh,
and he did. But that's all I did.
Did you end up with a car?
Like a deep cleansing breath. And then I Pilates breath. And then I was like, all right, well, I'm going to go to the car. And he's like, I said, well, we'll just be back later. And he handled it with the young gentleman. But I just was so frustrated because I thought, Enterprise rental car, why do you not have tap to pay? Why do you not have debit? Because you can't use the debit if it's on my phone. It's even safer than a physical copy because I'm the only one who can tap my card and then boop, 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 enter the code. They're not in the 26s, Allison. Turns out Will's just going to drive Chris's truck and I'm going to carpool my husband with a cheerful attitude to work.
Again? You're such a good wife.
I'm not a good wife, but I will drive and buy myself coffee as treats for driving.
You are a very good wife. Yeah. You are.
How do you mean I'm a good? I don't know.
You are. I'm a terrible wife.
No, you're not a terrible wife.
I told Jared the other day. Yeah. Well, Jared, when we got married, Jared was like, I'll do everything outside. I'll do everything inside as long as you do my laundry. And we kind of made this pact. And the other day, I actually got up and made him breakfast because normally he gets up at like 4 and he has this weird schedule. And he was like so excited about breakfast. And I was like, look, I can only do one. Do you want laundry or breakfast? I can't do both. That's just asking too much. And Abs is up at 4 with Chris and has his coffee and his breakfast. And she drives him and escorts him to work. And she's so happy about it. And it's really inspiring.
I don't know that I'm happy about it. I like our morning coffee vibe. It's fun. Driving, I do have to check my attitude a little bit. But if this saves money, because Will's just got to get himself out of that car.
Yeah.
That car is
it screams
begging for trouble.
Literally.
This
please
morning. Hey, this morning a cop was behind him in the coffee line at Starbucks and he said he was eyeing him up and down and Will was like, thank God the cop's coffee order took extra time because he said, I promise you, Mom, he was looking to give me a ticket. And I'm like, I know you're right. Tell me about the master's party and all the beautiful treats and the maybe fun beverages that you had.
I kind of want. So JP's never been to our house before. So the first time he's heard a lot of Sinclair family stories, and it was generally the Sinclair family. And then we always have stragglers that are like family. But JP, I kind of want to get your take. It's funny to see because I know how I think about our family, but what did you experience yesterday?
It was a lot of fun. But first of all, I walk in the house, okay, and I see everybody is in the kitchen, like looking up, and they're all focused on something. And I walk in and I stand in the doorway of the kitchen and just like cross my arms and lean up against the doorway. And they are fixing a chandelier or a light fixture that fell off the roof because somebody stood up and bumped their head on it and it fell off. But everybody's like, can you help me? And then I stood there for maybe 2 minutes. And then Allison looks and goes, JP, what are you doing here? And yeah, that was the start of it, though, was that somebody bumped their head on a light fixture.
Uncle Ben. Okay, Uncle Ben, every time he comes to our house, he breaks something. Like last time he broke the bed swing outside. Like it fell out of the ceiling.
Uncle Ben needs to pay you a retainer.
So this time, and I didn't see it happen, but they said he was sitting on the couch and everybody said it was like he purposefully jumped into the chandelier because it hit it so hard that it like fell once out of the ceiling and then fell again, like really dramatic. So JP walked in right as everybody's catching and trying to undo the chandelier. And so anyway, we're all standing there just in awe, watching them really struggle because it was heavy. All right, we get that settled. And then we go outside to sit down and everybody's good. Everybody's got their drinks and their snacks and we're sitting outside on the porch. And JP's on the other side. We're in chairs. He's in a rocking chair though.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Well, I was standing there and Jared, Allison's husband, goes, JP, pull up one of those rocking chairs. Come over. I was like, okay. And I sat down. I'm sitting next to Jared and we're just talking. The pool is like 5 feet to my right. Okay. So I get my phone and it's to my left and I'm pulling it to my right towards the center. It slips out of my hand.
No.
Hits my leg. Hits the ground, and I'm not kidding. It slid 5 feet right to the edge of the pool, and I just hear, and it like slowly sinks down. And I'm sitting there, and I'm in awe of what I just watched, and my jaw is open as I see it sink all the way to the bottom of the pool. And I look around to see if anybody else saw it, and nobody else noticed. And I just go, how do I say this? And I just said something like, oh, my phone's in the pool, and Jared goes, what? And he looks and sees it and he like jumps up and runs and gets the net and pulls it out. But what was funny is while Jared was getting it out of the pool, Connor, Allison's son, looks at me and goes, where's your urgency? He's like, your phone's at the bottom of the pool. And I was like, it'll be fine. And then he pulled it out and yeah, it works perfectly fine.
Thank the Lord.
But the funniest part too was when I went in the kitchen to dry it off, the only person in there was Collins, Allison's daughter.
Oh,
and I'm like frantically trying to dry my phone off, and she just goes like, "JP, does this ever happen to you? Do you get food for yourself and put it in the fridge, and then everybody else just eats it? Does that ever happen to you?" And I'm just like trying to dry my phone off, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's the worst. It's the worst." Yeah, but then yeah, it works.
So, but I watched the whole thing happen, and it really was like slow motion. But JP, you didn't move. That was kind of funny. I didn't move. You didn't move. We just slowly watched it descend. It kind of like danced to the bottom of the pool. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. I am calling our house Love Island.
Yeah, Love Island. That's hilarious. Because now we're at the age where the older two, boy and girl of Sinclair's, are kind of more, everybody's over 21 and now you're kind of all on the same playing field.
So fun.
And I am watching like
love.
Yeah, we're just going to call it Love Island. JP got to experience it all yesterday.
I did.
It's very dramatic.
May I add one thing to my story just real quick?
Oh, I got to take my first Zap this weekend.
Yeah, you've never been in a Zap?
No, aren't they just the cutest?
They are so cute.
I forgot to tell y'all that we had Parents Weekend with Molly's sorority while y'all were having your fun on Love Island.
Cutest dress.
And thank you. She found it at Belk. I forgot to tell y'all, we had a blast with Molly at Parents Weekend. We love her sorority. We love her friends. It was a blast, but I got to have my first Zap.
What is a Zap?
So
Thank you. It's the picture they take at sorority events, and it's a Zap, and the Zap photographer comes up, and it's got the white frame around it.
And the 90s?
It was a blast, but I couldn't wait to tell you that it was my first Zap.
I feel sorry for you. I kind of feel like you missed out little bit.
Look, see, did you see my Zap? My girl's Zaps?
Oh, you do. You even know how to do the lean in.
Well, Molly has to teach me.
Wait, do I know her?
Yeah, sweet Reese. Do you know Reese?
I don't know, but she's
love
really
her sweet mom, Michelle. They're literal best friends since the 6th grade.
Abs.
So
your dress is really pretty too.
Rent a runway.
All right, y'all are cute. Well, everybody had a good weekend. I'm glad you made it back from Cal College.
Made it back from Cal College, had fun, but I really wanted to tell you, A, had a blast, B, first Zap. But C, really delighted to hear, JP, that you had fun at Love Island. And this is great because the Sinclairs are delightful humans.
Yeah,
and
you will
very fun.
You will drink more than you expect if you go to the
Well, I heard about a new drink called the Infusion.
No,
Transfusion. That sounds like transcendental meditation, but it probably makes you want to do some meditation. But yay for a great weekend. I think that's a wrap on our weekend. Yeah. Before we move into the news of the day.
And okay.
Such a bum deal because the weekend was wonderful. And now we are pivoting into what's trending on Twitter. And as you'll see, each of us has a story that's trending on our Twixes. And then after we do that, we probably won't have enough time. We'll do a montage after that. We have news for the rest of the day. A lot of things happened this weekend. A lot. But we're going to start with this first. So first, what's trending on Twix? Yes, ma'am.
Can we define the terms of trending?
Yes, ma'am.
Are we going to on our Twix?
Yes, ma'am.
Where are we just clicking on trending, or are we clicking on
click on news?
Click on news.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, JP, where's news?
So you need to go to.
Hold on, I'm going to the top.
See, she's weird.
Okay, now I don't know half the time what's happening.
I know. Click there.
Okay. Wait. So I'm always clicking here.
Yeah. Always click the eyeglass.
Yes, ma'am.
And then click news.
Okay. All right. Allison.
Now they're all going to be the same.
Dang it.
What is y'all's news?
My top one is Artemis 2.
My top one is JFK Jr.
No, it's not.
Right here.
It's right here.
Oh, the Artemis. Well, I'd rather do these.
Oh, you can. Okay, choose whatever you want.
Mine is different than yours.
Fine. Okay. Oh.
I'm Prodigy.
JP, it's exhausting. It's exhausting.
All right, Mr. Different, you go first.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Let me.
Are you looking at the chunky news at the top with images? Are you looking just below that after the last? Okay, the chunky. All right, fine, Allison. I'll go by your rules.
So the first one on mine is Black woman challenges Rep Khanna on California migrant releases in debate clip.
What does that mean?
Let's zoom in.
But how did I know? Because you know what? I was going to read that story.
No, you weren't. It's not even on. Oh, you were.
I was.
Okay, do you want me to do a different one?
No. Do it.
Okay,
let's go.
During Jubilee's April 12th YouTube episode, one congressman versus 20 Epstein file critics, the woman criticized Democratic open border policies, citing 4,600 illegal migrants with criminal records released in California despite ICE detainers. Let's see if we can watch the video.
As a regular, everyday American citizen, I feel that I am more likely to be harmed by Democratic policies such as open borders because
I'm for secure borders.
Okay, but in your state, something like 4,600 or so illegal migrants that had criminal records were re-released from jail. So when we're talking about harming Americans, when we're talking about children potentially being harmed, when we're looking into child trafficking, we have to acknowledge that illegal migration is the biggest funnel for child trafficking trafficking. So when we're worried about Epstein with a couple of people, and you guys turn a blind eye to
let me just say,
tens of thousands of children being harmed by your policies, that's a problem.
We have been for a secure border, but here's what I want.
No one in California can say that they're for a secure border. My frustration.
Oh, also her outfit.
I was gonna say I really like her skirt.
Man, that's pretty.
Yeah,
you should probably have that skirt.
I like that skirt
and the square neck. That's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's outstanding, JP.
In the beginning, did he say we're not for secure borders?
He was like, well, I'm for secure borders.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, define secure.
Okay, Rokana.
Row.
All right. Not
Chippy,
row, my
Chippy,
precious.
Scotty. Chippy.
Look, my brother's name was Chip, and growing up, we called him Chippy.
Hey, Chippy.
Chippy. It was honest. It was coming from a place of honesty.
It was honest.
Scotty was my next door neighbor. It felt like childhood for a moment, and I had to use those names. Allison, what you got?
Who is Ayanna Presley?
Okay, she's the one with the shaved head, right?
Yeah.
And bright lips. She kind of looks like the sportscaster, right?
Yes, she does.
And the sportscaster said she zips her hair off on purpose so that she could have that look. I'd suggest you're beautiful, but grow some hair.
All right.
Ayanna is because of that hair alopecia. Carry on.
All right. Well, she's in trouble.
Oh, is she?
Public records show Presley's net worth shifted from about negative $12,500.
How is that possible?
She was negative in 2018 to assets up to $8 million by 2024. Mainly 5 rental properties in Massachusetts and Florida, generating $145,000 to $350,000 in income just last year. These holdings carry up to $9 million in mortgages, while her husband runs a consulting firm, earning $100,000 to $1 million. So that's why you run for Congress. How do you go from in the hole $12,500 to just 6 years later up? You have assets to $8 million, up to $8 million. Is that insider trading? Is that just she just made a lot of money off her books and her speaking engagements? I don't even know if you can do that when you're in Congress. I think it has to be afterwards. But like, all of a sudden you can buy all these properties?
It is convenient how that works.
Are we going to be talking about Eric Swalwell because there's a whole other thing that ties into that?
Gosh, it's disgusting.
We got about 1 minute if Abs wants to.
Really quick, USAID rice bag. This isn't a surprise to no one. You're not going to go, oh, wow, I am shocked. USAID rice bags sold openly in Dominican market. Yes, this is trending in news on X. A recent 17-second video shows U.S. taxpayer-funded rice aid meant for Haitians sold wholesale in a Dominican Republic market, sparking widespread criticism of waste and corruption. The bags match those from USAID's Food for Peace program, which sent hundreds of millions to Haiti amid known risks of theft, gang diversion, and black market sales.
So they're saying it was sent to Haiti and then the Haitians just didn't eat it. They sold it to the Dominican, or somehow they got it and then they were selling it?
Basically, because of I don't know if they're implying theft or gang diversion or black market sales. It feels like a black market sale, but they should have used it. It was given to them for free, but instead, oh no, we're going to turn a quick buck and sell the rice meant for hungry people to the Dominicans. So,
Doge, Tim.
Let's go.
Timmy, where are you? Do something about it. I'm JP and everybody loves me, but you can't have JP because he's with us. We'll be right back.
Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair, and we are joined by Admiral Brian Christine, who is the Assistant Secretary for Health at HHS. And it is a thrill and it is an honor, sir, to have you here. Thank you.
Oh, it's a privilege to be here. It is so fun to have come back home to Sweet Home, Alabama, to come see my family and to do this, to work with y'all, to do this podcast to help get the messaging out that we need to, so the American people know the good things that we're doing in Washington, the good things that Secretary Kennedy and President Trump are doing. And so as we start off, I have to give a shout out, obviously, to our president and to Secretary Kennedy, because they are working so hard to make this country healthier than she's ever been, to make Americans stronger than we've ever been, to make America great again. So thanks for the opportunity.
So before we jump into those values issues and talking about making our country healthy again, which is such a relief, could you tell those who may not know you or have heard about you, because you are a legend, a little bit about your background?
Sure.
As we jump in.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was born, my father was in the Army. I was born in what used to be West Germany. Now, if you're old enough like me, you remember that one time there was an East and a West Germany during the Cold War. My father was a tanker. In other words, he was in armor in the Army, tanks. And we had a lot of armor assets deployed along the East-West border during that time. I was born in 1963, at really the height of the Cold War. So I was born in West Germany. My father ultimately went Special Forces. In his second tour of Vietnam, he was really severely injured, lost an arm and a leg. Got out of the military. We ultimately settled in Augusta, Georgia, had some family there. I went to medical school at Emory in Atlanta, and then I came over to UAB for my residency. And that's how I got to Birmingham. I did my residency in urologic surgery, completed my residency, and then I joined a urology group here in Birmingham. And I practiced with that group for 24, 25 years, really subspecializing in men's health. That was kind of my gig. Then I got the call for the nomination to be the Assistant Secretary for Health from President Trump. Went through the confirmation process. Ultimately was confirmed by the Senate. I was confirmed into this position last November, and here you are. So now I'm in Washington as the Assistant Secretary for Health.
Were you expecting that call? I mean, how does this happen?
Yeah,
you're just like
no, that's a great
Brian
question.
Christine in Birmingham, Alabama, and you get a call that you're the next Rachel Levine. What's her boy name?
Richard.
Richard Levine. Richard Levine.
You're
That's
Richard.
exactly right.
Yeah.
Yes, I am President Trump upgrade from Richard Levine.
We would say
there
so.
We're very grateful
Yes,
for you.
Yeah, exactly. And I really think, listen, I think one of the reasons that President Trump nominated me and that Secretary Kennedy wanted me in the position is because I practiced medicine on the front lines. I was kind of a Main Street doctor. And I think they liked the idea of having someone who really understood medical care and delivery from a Main Street level. Personally, I think also one of the reasons that President Trump wanted me in this position, because there's really not another visual that shows the difference between the horrible Biden administration and the really righteous and good Trump administration, and the fact that you have me in the same position as Levine. I'm a man who wears men's clothing, and that really says all you need to know about the last administration and this administration. For sure.
I always thought he could have done a better job, like zhuzhing it up a little bit. Like it was like he put on some earrings and a dress, and that was it. Like, but we can work a little harder. But I think America, the juxtaposition is overwhelming from what y'all are doing versus what he was doing.
Well, no, exactly. When you look at Levine, I mean, again, his agenda was no question about it. The transgender and minors agenda was so important for him. All he wanted to do was to tell little boys they could be little girls, little girls they could be little boys, and then recommend castrating surgeries, castrating chemicals, hormones, and do irreversible harm to these kids. So if you go back and look at what he talked about, mostly that was it. I mean, Levine advocated for removing any kind of age restriction on transgender treatment in kids. He advocated for those sex-rejecting surgeries. That's what we call them. People say transgender surgery. No, in this administration, we talk about sex-rejecting surgeries and procedures because that's what they are. And that was his big focus, right? I personally believe he was in that position as a statement. I personally believe he was in that position to be an eyepiece, not because he really cared about the health of the country. So I'm really happy to be in this position to be able to reverse and to right so many of the wrongs that the last administration and Levine, perpetrated on the country.
So in this position, you're able to do a lot of good. Could you talk to us about your roles and responsibilities?
Sure. As the Assistant Secretary for Health, you have kind of a 3-level role. One is to help form healthcare policy, to work across the different divisions of the Department of Health and Human Services, to work with the CDC and NIH and FDA, and work with HHS leadership to help form healthcare policy. So we help form the policy, we help implement that policy. There's also a communication role, which really appeals to me, in that we help to communicate the policy to healthcare establishments, healthcare providers, and to the country at large. Okay, the Surgeon General falls under the Assistant Secretary for Health. So when we have our new Surgeon General in, and I'm happy to say that Dr. Casey Means will be having her hearing before the Senate on the 25th of this month, I believe. She'll be an amazing Surgeon General. We're going to work so well together, but together we'll.
And hello, welcome back. I'm Amy Beth. She's Allison. He is JP. We are the right side. You have found the right place and the right time. So now, after our, which by the way, I love the trending on Twix. That's great fun. Do you think we could do like a Twix bar breaking just to combine Twitter and X? Because really no one knows what to call it.
We have some Twix in the basket over there.
Oh, those are so tasty. So now we have the regular news after the trending news, the regular news. And that's, that's what we're going to do now. And we're just going to take it apart after JP has put together an incredible montage. JP.
Black for News.
We've had a number of substantive discussions with the Iranians. That's the good news. The bad news is that we have not reached an agreement, and I think that's bad news for Iran much more than it's bad news for the United States of America.
Attack Pope Leo on Truth Social.
I don't think he's doing a very good job. He likes crime, I guess. We don't like it. We don't like a pope that's going to say that it's okay to have a nuclear weapon. We don't want a pope that says crime is okay in our cities. I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of Pope Leo.
The Pope made a statement. Did you see the Pope's statement? Now, if you
I
want
see
to bring
everything
this up,
he says.
Okay, he doesn't want any conflict anywhere, and he was talking about violence. And I'm like, have you even read the Bible? Have you read the conflicts, the wars that the Israeli people they were empowered by God to defeat their enemies? And frankly, all throughout Israel's history, they've been, surrounded by enemies. But as God's chosen people, they against all odds keep winning.
These allegations of sexual assault are flat false. They are absolutely false. This weekend, I'm going to spend time with my family and friends. I look forward to updating you very soon.
During our campaign, we promised New Yorkers that we would create a network of 5 city-owned grocery stores, 1 in each borough. Today, we make good on that promise. And the first one will open next year.
You shall starve until then.
You guys, do you think they're having buyer regret, user regret? Like, what do you think with that Joker?
No. Nah.
You don't think
Not
so?
yet.
They haven't suffered enough yet.
Nah, they haven't suffered enough yet.
Bless them all. Bless,
Today
bless,
we make
bless.
good on that promise.
Yeah. Woo!
Next year.
Boo.
That's just okay, Zor.
Zori.
Yeah,
What do you
okay.
say about
Zori.
that, Zori?
Good grief. But let's get the rich people.
Even Kathy Hochul is kind of breaking with him.
She is, and I'm here for it.
Yeah. Eat your own.
Good night.
Because
It's
they
just pathetic. All right. So, what was first? It was Trump.
JD Vance.
It was JD Vance.
Failed Iran negotiations
All
over
right.
the weekend.
Failed Iran. I'm just right here, just checking right here. Okay. So, guys, questions for y'all. Are we surprised? What is it that we actually want? And do you think it's going to happen?
What's going to happen?
Like,
What we
what's
want.
going to, like, yeah.
Oh, what
like
we want
based on what
happen.
we want, is that going to happen? Or is something else entirely going to happen
You're talking about in Iran?
in Iran with JD Vance, with these negotiations? What gives?
I don't have much hope because from what I can see, what we want is them to completely reopen the strait, to agree to never enrich uranium, pretty much all the same talking points and what we wanted going into the war. However, if you're Iran and you have full control over the strait and they being the United States, can't take it from you, then why would you give that up? Like, obviously they're not going to, because now they've got full control of the strait and they have the leverage with all of that. So we don't have any leverage when it comes to the strait because we can't take it from them. So why would they give it to us? So that's where I'm pessimistic about there being any deal, because it's like, yeah, why would the Iranians release control of the strait if they're able to defend it? So JD Vance and Witkoff and Kushner went over to Islamabad and Pakistan to talk with them and pretty much came with nothing, as I kind of expected, unfortunately.
So what do you think happens from here?
This probably continues. Oh, by the way, yeah, here's the other part of it. We've issued a double blockade on the strait. So wherever the Iranians are blockading, we're just blockading a step further, which is like, I don't even understand why we're doing that. But I don't see Trump conceding anything in this. So that makes me a little bit nervous that this is just going to keep going on and on and on, because if we leave this war with the strait not fully opened and like it was before the war, then that's just a loss in terms of, so we're not going to leave with it looking like we lost. So until that makes me a little nervous if Trump's going to get desperate, more and more desperate to do ground troops or whatever, or start just bombing the crap out of them to reopen the strait. Because if, like I said, if the strait was open before the war and we leave the war and it's no longer open, then yeah, the Iranians won in that factor. So
what you think?
Well, regarding JD Vance, I came across this and I thought it was funny. JD Vance visited the Pope and then the Pope died. He visited Iran to end the war and the war hasn't ended. He visited Hungary to campaign for Viktor Orban and Viktor Orban lost. But at least he can get through a trophy ceremony without, and then it has him dropping the trophy at that.
Yeah.
I don't know. JD Vance specifically, you read about how people will talk about how Trump is purposefully putting, and Steve Deace talks about this a lot, purposefully putting Marco Rubio and JD Vance in these positions of power to negotiate, to put them on the world stage, to give them a ton of responsibility, basically to see how they can operate on their own. Not when they're the behind follow-up man, but when they are the man. And I don't know how this works for JD. Obviously, the people love him. Like, I feel like we are still with him. But is it because he's funny and he doesn't take himself so seriously and he says the right things, but is he really effective? Like, can he be the leader of the free world? I don't know. Marco Rubio's fumbling a little bit too, but I think everybody watched JD. The L's are kind of chalking up next to his name, but people love him. Regarding opening the strait, I'm like, I mean, we could take the strait, but it takes bombs and missiles and ships, and you're over there forever monitoring it. So what are we going to, I mean, are we committed to that? Is that, the talk is wearing thin on me, but I don't know what else you do. I think he has such pressure, Trump does, to allow negotiations and to give them the chance to do the right thing. But my spidey senses say that they're never going to do the right thing. Like, they're just not. That's not how they fight. They will lie to you. They will tell you what you want to hear. I don't even know. I read that Trump's like, I mean, we got to open the strait, even if there's a IED or whatever planted underneath, which, by the way, did y'all see that the U.S. apparently blew up the ships that can detect where the buried bombs are in the sea?
The mines.
So, yeah, the mines. And so now Iran's like, sorry, we don't know where we put them because you blew up our ships. Like, what the hey county are we doing? So we're in a world of mess.
We are in a world of mess.
Maybe they didn't even plant any mines. Maybe there's none out there, but either way, they are playing some serious games with us, and I'm not sure we're prepared for that.
They are playing games. I do hope that if JD can't help with negotiations, and I know that they only want to talk to him, they could send Marco over. They could send them together, but you're still dealing with people who lie. Just like, I mean, that's what they do.
Yep.
So would we not be better off? This is going to sound crazy, but to send somebody like a Chris Voss, the guy who wrote the book, Never Split the Difference. He was an FBI hostage negotiator, or that other guy who was a hostage, like somebody like that. This is insane. Send them with JD, send them with Marco. They are the top of their field when negotiations are concerned, to try to get things done. I don't know if it's possible because, again, we're dealing with an Eastern mindset, not Western. But that's my idea off the top of my head, spitballing, because the chocolate pound cake or whatever this delectable treat is making me think, shouldn't we send somebody who's at the top of their field when it comes to negotiations, even if he's not a vice president? I don't know. That's number one.
Yeah.
But number two, this double blockade is the ultimate. It reminds me of childhood when somebody did something to you and you're like, oh, yeah. And you do it right back to them. Like, that double blockade is the ultimate. Oh, yeah. It's not going to do anything. We are dealing with people who fight. This is what they do. And we seem to be stumped because we're dealing with people who fight way better than we do. I don't know. Time will tell.
Do you remember, did y'all say this? I mean, I was in East Tennessee, but I still, once every few months, I'll think about, did y'all ever say, yeah, well, I'm rubber and you're glue and everything you say bounces off me and sticks to you?
Yes.
That's what we're doing.
Yes.
On a world global stage. But here's the thing. What is the ultimate sacrifice in the Islam religion?
Yourself.
Yes. Martyrdom. You die for Allah. Why do they care? Why do they even want to negotiate with us?
Oh,
we started it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not like the world can say, well, you started it, you deserve that retaliation. No, at this point, we started it. And what would they love more than to be with their virgins?
They want power, which we know they want power. They want to be with their virgins, but not the tippy top. That's, you know how their elite children are living over here in Miami, luxurious lives, and we had to kick them out and send them back, or they're at least in ICE detainers right now. I was listening to the man who wrote The Creature from Jekyll Island is 94 years old. And we were listening to a podcast with him on it this weekend. And he brought it back to, no matter what system it is, they always want to know who is going to be the most powerful. And if it makes them, if Iran looks less powerful, they'll have none of it. That's all they care about, is power and saving face. And that's the part that this could get and continue to be very ugly. They're not going to give up. They're just not. They're just not. They want power. And I don't know that we have the ability to concede, because if we do, we look weak, but they really are not going to let go. They're just not. And that's the part that frightens me.
And then if everything fails and they lose power, well, then we die for the cause.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's just so frustrating because we did have the leverage before the war. And now I feel like we have lost all leverage. And you can talk about how we've taken out, how much of their ballistic missile capabilities we've taken out, which everybody says a different number. I think a lot of people we have taken out some, but I don't think we are accurately depicting how many they had hidden and how many they had away that we haven't gotten to, that they're now bringing out. And the Iranian Navy was, taken out except for the ones that were hidden. Like, there was a lot hidden away that we haven't gotten to yet that are now being put to use. And when it comes to the Strait, like, that is the leverage point for Iran, like I said. So as long as we can't take that away from them, or we're not taking that away from them, and they can control it all and literally make the entire globe suffer then yeah, they're not going to budge because they have all the leverage in terms of that. So, oh, well, beforehand, our nuclear capabilities were set back and, we were, living to fight another day and y'all had the leverage. Well, now we got the leverage. And guess what? We're not budging past. We're going to be allowed to enrich. We're going to be allowed to do all these things. And it's when the U.S. is like, no, we're not doing that. And Iran's just like, okay, well, we'll keep the straight. We'll make it like we can play this game for as long as we want. Yeah. And if we die, then
we die.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just frustrating because the art of the deal, well, you gave them all of the leverage now. So, oh, we'll double blockade you. That'll show you. It's like, what? It's just frustrating. It's frustrating. We gave them all the leverage.
Audience, what do you think? What are your thoughts on this? I'm sure Brad from Crimestone, maybe even Matt. What do you guys think about this? As we move into our next montage item, because I know you have thoughts and we can get to them after the break. All right. So what we're telling you is we don't know, but we're concerned. Is that fair?
Yeah. And I guess I think it goes with the same along with this, because this weekend, you've got JD Vance fighting for his life over in Islamabad. However you say it, Islamabad. And Donald Trump, I think, was at a UFC fight ringside. And then he's putting out these truth socials of him portraying himself as Jesus, raising someone from the dead.
What in the world?
It looks like Mike Huckabee right there behind him. I don't know. But this is just so bad. So you're at a UFC fight you just called yourself a king on Palm Sunday, like Jesus was king. And now you're putting these out. Riley Gaines even twixt. Why? Seriously, I cannot understand why he'd post this. Is he looking for a response? Does he actually think this? Either way, two things are true. A little humility would serve him well, and God shall not be mocked. Steve Dace, Michael Knowles, everybody is like, what the heck? Like, is this some humiliation ritual that somebody's making him do? And then he goes after the Pope this weekend, which you're not going to win against a religious figure. You're just not, because like it or not, a lot of your Catholic base is going to side with the Pope.
Even though the Pope blessed a block of ice last week. Even though. Now, let me back up, though, in regards really quickly to President Trump and these insane images he's posting on the socials. He better be careful God doesn't Nebuchadnezzar him. Remember, Nebuchadnezzar in the Old Testament looked around and said, look at all that my hands have done. And then he was struck as an animal for 7 years. So, Mr. Trump, respectfully, God will Nebuchadnezzar your butt real quick if you don't stop.
Trumpy,
Donnie.
I'm
just putting it out there. Okay. Number 2, you are right. Catholics will not go against the Pope. They may suggest that they have issues with him, even as he blessed a block of ice in regards to climate change. It was ridiculous. But he is soft on crime. He does have questions about nuclear weapons because who's for them? My problem with him is about crime. How do you maintain the peace if you don't have a strong defense? It's not possible. And did he miss the part in Numbers 33 where some of the Israelites, the tribes, were trying to get out of fighting? They just wanted to go ahead and get their land. And God was like, what, you think you're going to get out of this? And I'm just going to give this to you? No, you got to go fight for it. So this apathetic indifference to war, but I want peace, is deeply ignorant on that subject. But Catholics are not going to go against the Pope. So, sorry, dude. Trumpy, Donnie, not going to go against him.
Well, so this was Pope Leo's most recent statement in regards to the war. It says, God does not bless any conflict. Anyone who is a disciple of Christ, the Prince of Peace, is never on the side of those who once wielded the sword and today drop bombs. Military action will not create space for freedom or times of peace, which comes only from the patient promotion of coexistence and dialogue among peoples. So Here's my thing with all of this. Yeah, I'm not Catholic. I mean, I've got a whole half side of my family is Catholic. So I respect the Catholic Church. I respect the Pope. I don't think the Pope is infallible. So it's one thing to disagree with the Pope, but here's my thing. The Pope doesn't have any say or any authority over US foreign policy. So why attack him? You know what I mean? Like it's one thing if you're asked about it to say, well, I disagree with what the Pope has said about immigration and other issues like that. But it's like, he's the Pope. He's not the president. So it's almost like Trump is going out of his way to attack the Pope. And that's the part that annoys me and frustrates me because, I mean, he is the face of the Catholic religion. I mean, he is their Peter in terms of he's the head of the church in their eyes. But it's like, okay, just say, yeah, I disagree. I didn't like that. Why go out of your way to slam the Pope? I don't think he's doing a very good job. It's like, well, his job is not foreign policy. His job is to be the Pope. So it's like, you're the president. Why even, you know what I mean? Why go out of your way to do that? It just seems silly and tacky. It's like, yeah, I don't think the Pope's perfect or infallible. The Pope says what he says, but the fact that you're going out of your way to just like beat up on the Pope while posting those pictures of you like Jesus, it's not a good look. I just don't see the point in doing it.
Well, and you know, it does acknowledge something that happened in the past, and that was that the church and the king were inseparable because the church was the standard, but it's not anymore. We are weakened to the point of ineffectiveness almost, and we've got to get back from that. But I agree with you, go out of your way to pick a fight. Like, it's like he's bored. Like, give him some more Diet Cokes and some things to do. But he's like a little kid. He's bored and just picking on things over the weekend. I don't understand. I really don't.
I think he's falling into a trap. And he's smart. So I don't really get it. And maybe he's just tired of the attacks. But like yesterday, right after the green jacket ceremony on 60 Minutes, they had on 3 cardinals or 3 people, 3 priests. I don't know where they're from.
They were cardinals. Yeah.
Cardinals that have never done a public interview before. But, you know, of course, what are they talking about? She asked, is this a just war? And they're like, no, according to the Catholic faith, this is not a just war. And they're going off again and just pounding President Trump and America's foreign policy and what we're doing in Iran. And it's definitely coordinated, and they're trying to get him to do something. And I think he's doing it. Like, they are going to deteriorate and split MAGA, which I don't even know what that is anymore, but we're already splintered, and now you're going to lose the Catholics. And so this is part of their plan, and he is just walking right into it.
I'm sorry. I did see an article about that. I'm going to go try to find it over the weekend. About exactly what you're saying. Creating division.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not something I had thought much about, but now that you're laying it out like that, I go, oh, that article makes sense. It may have been on the Gateway Pundit, but there are things at work. You're exactly right.
Well, I mean, we're ripping ourselves apart too.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we'll get into that. But yeah, I mean, so the right is crumbling, just like we made fun of the left for doing 2 years ago, you know,
and
leading
it's
up to the election.
Self-inflicted.
It is. It really is. And what I learned this morning is, in a population, there's the 1% that follows first, the 3% that comes along after that. But basically 15% of a population is all you need to change that culture. That's all. So we just need 15% of people who believe not in the president, but God first and conservative values, and we can change culture. But right now we are just like a mudslide. We were once at the top of the hill, and now it's all coming down. And you're like, what's happening? And we got to stop it.
The clip that Sean Hannity going after the Pope. I mean, who listens to Sean Hannity? The boomers.
The president. That's
the president. But I'm just saying that whole faction of MAGA, of the right, is now going to turn on the Catholic. You know, it's like, it's just to create more infighting, and it's going to work. But we'll have more great news on the other side. We'll be right back.
the message of the Department of Health and Human Services and President Trump to the American people. So there's that communication aspect to the role. And then also, the Assistant Secretary for Health can serve as a civilian, or they can do as I did, which is request commission from the president. So I have been commissioned as the senior admiral at the Public Health Service, specifically the Commission Corps. So you have the U.S. Public Health Service, and then you have something called the Commission Corps, and these are commissioned officers. I'm a 4-star admiral. I lead the Commission Corps. And so one of the other roles I have is as a flag officer, an admiral, is to lead the Commission Corps of the Public Health Service. And that's about 5,400 doctors, nurses, pharmacists, therapists. Believe it or not, we've got a few veterinarians in there as well, dentists, dermatologists. We are Secretary Kennedy's tip of the spear strike force for public health initiatives. And it's really a privilege to wear this uniform. It's a privilege to receive the salutes that I receive from other members of other uniformed services and my own officers. To wear this uniform is a privilege, but that's a big part of what I do, is to lead the Commission Corps, because we really are the edge of the knife, the tip of the spear for public health in the United States. And I have officers deployed other parts of the world as well, primarily in the U.S. We work at Guantanamo Bay, for instance. We work with ICE agencies. We work with DHS. We supply doctors and nurses to the Indian Health Service, which is a big role. We have officers that work at FDA, work at CDC. They're out in community health centers. So we're all over the place, but that's part of my role as well.
Wow.
That's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
I had no idea.
It's a lot of people. And these officers, these are good men and women. These are good men and women who want to serve, who care about this country. And one of the things I have been told by officer after officer is they said, we are so happy that we have a new Assistant Secretary for Health. We're demoralized by our prior Assistant Secretary because we knew he didn't really care about us. He put the uniform on as a political stunt. Brian, you wear the uniform because you care about the country and you want to serve the President and the Secretary.
So going into this role, like, you're just kind of starting. If now, and hopefully we'll do an interview as you're leaving and we can reassess, but give us your top 3, like, these are the things that I definitely want to get done while I'm here. What would those be?
Yeah, and so my agenda is, of course, Secretary Kennedy's agenda and the President's agenda. We all work for the President. He's the Commander-in-Chief. I work with Secretary Kennedy as we both serve the President and serve the people. And so the things that are really important to us at the Department of Health and Human Services, we know that affordability of health care, affordability of drugs, making sure we have good health care delivered to everybody, whether it be in a city or in these rural environments, that is something incredibly important to the President and the Secretary and myself. Also, we have our values issues. In other words, and we can talk about this, right to life issues, respect for the dignity of every man, woman, and child in this country. That's incredibly important to us. Taking care of men, taking care of women, that's important. So affordability, these values issues, and doing everything so different from the last administration and the last Department of Health and Human Services. We absolutely are guided by science. That's something that Secretary Kennedy has said again and again. We are guided by gold standard science, and we use that science to form policy and to do things that are going to make America healthier than she's ever been.
Okay, but Dr. Fauci says he is science. So are we Dr. Fauci science, or are we, like, how do you...
Are we science?
We are science. We are science. Listen, people can think what they want about Dr. Fauci. I prefer not to think about Dr. Fauci. I don't have much regard or respect for that individual. But who I do have regard and respect for are RFK, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Jay Bhattacharya, Dr. Bhattacharya, who was so incredibly strong during the COVID pandemic. He leads the NIH, the National Institutes of Health. I have respect for Dr. Oz, Mehmet Oz, who heads up CMS, Medicare and Medicaid. He is amazingly brilliant, amazingly committed to this country. We have Marty McCary, who is out at FDA. Marty also cares deeply. We don't have a CDC director right now. The interim director is a man named Jim O'Neill. Jim is also the deputy secretary at HHS, incredibly smart, incredibly strong, committed to life, committed to science. So those are the people I think about. I don't worry about Anthony Fauci. I don't want to think about Anthony Fauci. He did enough harm to this country. Yeah. I think about President Trump and our team now at HHS because we're doing amazing things.
You clearly are. So could we jump in then to those values issues that you've mentioned? Top of the list, right to life.
Yes.
And underneath that would be people's concern about mifepristone.
Sure.
Could you talk to us about that a little bit?
Yeah, I think, I'm 62 years old, turned 62 in December. This is the most pro-life administration that I've ever seen in my 6 decades plus of life. There's no question about it. The most pro-life administration that I've ever seen. I think the administration that is friendliest to religion and faith that I've ever seen. And President Trump has demonstrated that again and again. We stand for life. We stand for the fact that we know that life begins at conception. We respect life until life's natural end. We respect the dignity of the person. We want to make sure that we stand with individuals.
You are at the right side. You found us. You found you. The right side. She's Allison. I'm Amy Beth. He's JP. JP, before we move on, let's put a bow on it. Final thoughts, audience thoughts. Talk to me.
Oh, real first, we got a text on the text line. Ian from Hartsel. He says, full on born, baptized, and confirmed Catholic here. I find it difficult to follow a pope who blessed an ice cube in the name of climate change.
Listen, I'd have a hard time following a pastor who did the same thing.
Yeah. Well, like I said, here's my, I don't agree with, I'm not a Catholic. Some people think I am, but I'm not. There's a lot of parts of the Catholic doctrine I don't agree with. I don't think the Pope is infallible, but I have a respect for the Catholic Church still, because I do understand that they're Christians alongside us. Like, we don't agree 100%, but I don't feel a need to be hostile towards Catholicism. I mean, like I said, half my side of my family is Catholic. And when I go to the Catholic services, I mean, I partake and I don't take communion, obviously, but there's just, I don't know. I feel like there needs to be a certain respect amongst us all Christians, even when we disagree. Even when we disagree, there's a way to disagree. I just feel like Trump went out of his way and did it in a completely inappropriate manner. And like I said, again, he has no say. He's not a part of the U.S. government. So what's the need? You're just doing it to do it at this point. And if we want to talk about the Pope's comments on if God blesses war and blesses conflict and what's a just war and what's not a just war, that's a completely other conversation. I think it's a lot more nuanced, but I would agree with the fact that I don't think this is a just war. We kind of initiated it for what? But just in terms of Trump going out of his way to do it, it's just like, why? And then, like I said earlier, the post of him like being Jesus was kind of the cherry on top. But I will say this as my last point. I think there's a lot of evangelical dispensationalists in his circle that are maybe rah-rahing him to bring about the apocalypse. And I don't say that lightly. When you got the Sean Hannitys and the others that know he's watching Fox every night and telling him to bomb everybody, there's that sort of view of dispensationalism and Christians that I think are around Trump. I mean, there was on Palm Sunday, one of the speakers, I can't remember her name, was comparing Trump to Jesus. And
Paula White, probably.
Yes, I believe
she
it was.
Is bananas.
So if you're having Christians around you constantly telling you that, and then you have the Pope who is saying something different, then it's almost like, well, I'm apparently the Messiah. You're attacking me. That's what it looked like to me. And I think that's a problem. So.
Okay. Fair. Okay. Next. JP. Allison.
Ma'am.
Give me the phrase that enters your mind when you hear 2 words, Eric Swalwell.
That's a dangerous game to play with, Allison.
Look, there have to be words that we could say in the presence of our
I think I'm going to say it.
Chickens.
I'm going to say it.
Say it. I'll say it if you won't say it. I bet we're going to say the same thing. Say it.
Are you going to say John Merrill?
No, I was going to just say man whore. He's a hoe.
Gosh.
I was not expecting John Merrill.
Okay. I actually thought about that this weekend as all this is coming out. And, he is clearly a target. He is being taken down by his own people. He's being taken out by the Democrats. 100%. 100%. Here's where he and John Merrill are the same. They're the ones that got caught. Everybody else is doing it. I won't say everybody. That's not fair. We don't like it. We don't like it when we get lumped in. You call us the media, okay. But there are a lot of other people that are doing the exact same thing. It's just nobody has found a reason to use it against them yet. Mm-hmm. So everybody's feigning. Now, the assault part, which if you listen to his video, he says the sexual assault allegations are not true. Not that he cheated on his wife isn't true, but just the assault part.
He actually apologized for that earlier in his statement. Like he's acknowledging that he got caught cheating.
Yeah. So it's semantics there, but and I'm not saying that part that John Merrill was ever accused of sexual assault. No, they're not the same, but I'm just saying this is DC, this is Montgomery, this is human nature. This is gross. This is the dark side of power. And yes, it's disgusting and it needs to be addressed, but you've got a lot more people that you need to put on that list. He just happened to be the one in the way in getting caught this time.
I couldn't agree with you more. Again, back to that podcast with the 94-year-old man. You would love it. We're going to start reading The Creature from Jekyll Island. Maybe we should read the book together.
I need to start just reading
because it's about
book.
The banking system. But this man is 94 years old, and Lara Logan was starting to ask him about people in power. And it is either a Teddy Roosevelt quote or a Thomas Jefferson quote, but the closest I could come, he mentioned it several times. I didn't write it down. But here's the quote. And he said Thomas Jefferson, when people would say, what about good men? He'd say, good? What do you mean by good? There are no good men who are in power. Ooh. There are only those who can be restrained by the Constitution. And I think that Teddy Roosevelt was riffing off of what he said, because Teddy said, in questions of power, let no more be heard of confidence in man, but bind him down from mischief by the chains of the Constitution. So they fully understood there are no good ones. None of us are good. But when they are in office, the Constitution is what restrains them. So when it comes, though, to people like Eric Swalwell, you're exactly right. This is the tip of the iceberg. Assume they're all doing it. Unless you know they're not. And there's a couple of them we know are decent humans, like Tim Burchett, for example, or Anna Paulina Luna, or people in Alabama in the State House. But assume they're not good. And that's what I learned this weekend is I need to quit being surprised by the Eric Swalwells of this world, because it's common. He just got caught.
Well, I mean, you look at like Tony Gonzalez, and that there are 4 members of Congress right now that Swalwell, Gonzalez,
a female,
Sherfulis, McCormick, and Mills. Mm-hmm. But you look at Tony Gonzalez, he was having an affair with a staffer who allegedly was pregnant, not allegedly, set herself on fire and died in her front yard because she was being bullied and pursued and potentially exposed for this affair. And he is still sitting in his seat on the floor of the U.S. House. What? So there are a lot more. Corey Mills apparently is just as bad. Republican. So this isn't a partisan issue.
No, it's not. You're 100% right. It is both sides. It happens constantly. So it comes back down to they will disappear you. They will squash you. They will crush you the second they don't need you. This is a very fickle, dangerous game, but they're all playing it. And our founding fathers and our country's fathers completely understood the nature of man. And somehow we have forgotten.
Yeah, and I agree. I think the angle Allison mentioned, it's almost like everybody knows. Well, okay, sorry, I shouldn't say everybody, but most of the congressmen, it seems like, and congresswomen have something on each other. Like, it's just a gross, like we said, not everybody, but for the most part, and a lot of congressmen unfortunately do the things that Eric Swalwell is alleged to be doing. But whenever it goes public, yeah, your initial thought is, okay, when it seems coordinated, like there's multiple victims that are saying certain things, I think my brain also goes to, okay, who is like, what's the agenda with this? And this is completely separate from what Swalwell did. This is just talking about the political aspect of it. Like, why, who is trying to keep Swalwell out and why? I was looking at the 10 candidates for Democrat governor of California. I don't see anybody else on it. Literally the only name, I mean, there's Tom Steyer, but Eric Swalwell is really the only one that I see that has any sort of political, whatever capital that can do. So who is trying to keep Swalwell out of, is he the front runner? I haven't seen any polls, but yeah,
This is what Wall Street Mav says. The fall of Eric Swalwell is a coordinated power play by Democrats. California has a jungle primary, meaning the top two candidates in the primary advance to the general election, regardless of party. The Republican candidates are overperforming enough that Democrats are worried the two general election candidates would be Republican. In order to consolidate the Democrat vote, one of the candidates had to drop out, but Swalwell refused. That's all the party leadership needed to start releasing all the dirt they've collected on him for years.
Interesting.
And also, is that same article, does it contain information on the Republicans? Because I think Steve Hilton and the other Republican are doing well.
Steve Hilton's at 22%, Eric Swalwell's at 18%, and Chad Bianco, who is a Republican, is at 13%. And then below that is just a bunch more Democrats.
So that's in part, right? Because who
sense.
thought that, who saw that coming?
Yeah. Well, the primary for governor is in June, so we're getting closer and closer. So the timing kind of makes sense. There's also the part of it, even if the victims, when what they're claiming in terms of sexual assault, don't turn out to be true. I mean, there's video. I unfortunately saw it because it's on my Twitter of him with a sex worker, making out with a sex worker in his hotel room. So at the very least, he's been opened out as a cheater on his wife, which is well, maybe not on the Democratic side, but it does do damage to him. So I don't know. He did suspend his campaign for governor. So
notice, please, also that this Eric Swalwell isn't working out for the Democrats because they thought he would be way ahead of Steve Hilton. Because 22% to 18% is no small matter. That's a big deal, especially in California. But also, do you notice, and I'm sure you do, that they believe all women only when they need to believe all women?
That's so true.
You know, when else have you heard them stop and go, mate, no. Only because it suits their purposes and it's time to ash out this particular cigarette so we can move on to the next one and light that one up and see if we can't get somewhere, gain some traction in the polls with the next Democrat that's on that list. But I find that ironic.
Yeah.
We are just pawns in their game. Democrats in California, I hope you see that. Apparently you do, or Steve Hilton wouldn't be at 22%.
But I mean, JP, you said at least the Democrats don't care. I mean, the Republicans don't care either.
That's
and so
true.
like,
well, okay, at least the Republicans claim to care.
well, they fake it a little more.
Yeah.
If they cared, we would have about 20 House members left and maybe 10 senators left. I mean, I'm probably being dramatic, but
I don't know if you are.
If you take all the
I think you're
insider
right.
trading, why I keep saying training, maybe they do need training, insider trading and just general corruption, plus all the affairs. I mean,
She caught herself.
She did, like just in time.
Do we need to do an allegedly early?
Allegedly. There are cages.
Oh, yeah.
In the halls of the Capitol building. I guess they're not really cages. They're like.
Yeah, they're like basement
rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cloak rooms.
Where things happen. Yeah. And everybody knows about it. Y'all remember a few years ago that the gay staffer that was in the committee room on the desk in his little dominatrix? What? Weird. Like, things are bad if you actually go, I can get away with this.
Yeah. Well, what was it? Santos on Tucker claimed or said that they put cameras in there recently for a reason.
Yeah.
So.
And Madison Cawthorn, he took a lot of heat for saying there's a bunch of orgies and coke fests in Congress. And now he's like, I told y'all.
I mean, also, this isn't going to help Trump anything, but since we're talking about nasty sex and people who just can't be okay without,
we're not on radio anymore,
hurting people. This has to do with sex. E. Jean Carroll, did y'all see that story?
No, she's back.
She's back and on record admitting that was all made up and she's never met Trump. Yeah.
What?
Please let me go grab it. I saved it this morning. That's exactly what I said.
No.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, she is so.
I
think Trump has higher standards than that.
Now look.
Maybe.
This is allegedly. The whistleblower says Trump accuser E. Jean Carroll secretly met with DNC officials, confessed on tape that her allegations against Trump are false. And somebody with inside knowledge, now this is going to have to be proved correct, said that Carroll received $10 million from the DNC, along with a book deal and hefty federal lawsuit. That's the reason why she fabricated it. So we'll see. We're going to keep checking into it, but I saw it early this morning. It wasn't yesterday. It was today.
That
and I'm like,
tracks.
what? But he said he never met her. And you're like, Now, does this help him in any way? I don't know. But please understand, the DNC uses and abuses who they choose. You just better hope it's never going to be you. So
how about we just, like I tell my kids, just make good choices.
Yeah, about to say.
Do you remember those fun days when you dropped them off and my kids occasionally went to youth group? We weren't that family. I'd be like, make good choices in front of all their friends. I'd yell that to them. They'd be so embarrassed. But it's your job.
You got to do it.
Yep. So anyway, Eric Swalwell, you are a lying liar who lies and you smell like beef and cheese. Bye.
That's a great way to wrap it. That's perfect.
Bye. Yeah, I don't think he comes back from this. Mainly because now if the Democrats needed him for something, they'd all be flocking to his aid to surround him, circle the wagons, protect him at all costs. They look away, but so does the right.
Here's another. Sorry, I didn't think about this until now. The DOJ just announced that they're investigating Swalwell with the Fannie Faye Faye.
Fang Fang?
Fang Fang, whatever.
Fannie Faye Faye?
Same thing.
Okay.
But do you think that's related? Because, I mean, it's a Republican DOJ, so maybe not. But
Republican schmublican.
Yeah, that's true. But
it's
I don't know.
Uniparty DOJ.
They announced that investigation. Allegedly, Pam Bondi got fired for leaking to Swalwell that they were doing this investigation, which why would she do that? And then this comes out. It's like there's a bunch of different angles going at Swalwell at the same time. It's conspicuous.
Well, it's not his day.
Bless it.
Yeah, and the other part of it is, cheating on your wife with a Chinese spy. Pff, come on. But then now all of a sudden that he's in the governor's race, it's like they're going after him in terms of the Democrats. Like, so sleeping with a Chinese spy is okay. Oh, but now cheating on your wife and alleged sexual assault. Now you got to go. They pick and choose. They pick and choose when they want to do it.
Also, if a man has lied once about this, apart from really repenting and his life changing, when he gets on camera says, I've never done that. Come on, man. Seriously. But they are the kind of people that you're going to need pictures of because they're going to keep lying. That's just what they do. They lie. That's just for free. Ugh. That's what I say about that. Yeah. So.
As if.
I need that button.
Truly. We do need that button.
Yeah.
So here I got a question. Y'all need to walk me through this. This is about Alabama. Okay. The Go to Church billboard.
Oh, that's actually a good topic to end. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me about that.
So I saw it. I thought it was funny. This was here. Let me pull up Yellowhammer. This is a story on Yellowhammer News. See if I can find it real quick. Yeah. So the famous "Go to Church or the Devil Will Get You" sign was put up, and it was changed a little bit and put up in Coachella Valley since Coachella is currently going on. Here, sorry, let me pull up the article real quick. It was a twist on it to, I guess here it is. Alabama's iconic Go to Church billboard reimagined in Coachella Valley. It says an iconic Alabama roadside sign known for its blunt message and unmistakably imagery is finding new life in an unexpected setting as singer-songwriter Ethel Cain reimagines the landmark billboard for a national audience as a form of advertisement for the singer's current tour. So I'm going to pull up the
that's great
image here on
Go
the
see Ethel.
Yeah, I'm put the image on.
Okay, that's funny.
Go see Ethel Cain or the Devil Will Get You.
So has Ethel Cain been to Alabama? Is she from Alabama? How does she know? Like, you've got to be going to Montgomery.
Well,
to see that sign.
She's a Florida-raised singer-songwriter.
Okay.
But she's known for her Southern Gothic and ambient style.
Okay.
So it tracks.
Okay.
She's actually coming to Huntsville in May.
Have you heard her sing?
I have not.
Can she sing?
I have not heard her sing.
One of my kids is going to see her.
Oh, we need
Huntsville.
an update.
Yeah.
I think I know who's going to see her. Can I guess in the break?
Of course. You know exactly who it is.
All right.
Oh, we're going to Morgan Wallen this weekend.
Are you really?
I'm so excited. Jared does not like Morgan Wallen. I love Morgan Wallen. Now, I don't love, this is funny. So we were in Tuscaloosa like a week ago. Then we'll be in Tuscaloosa for the Morgan Wallen concert on Saturday. And then we're going back to Tuscaloosa for an Alabama baseball game on Tuesday. So I find myself in T-Town a lot. But is anybody else going? Do you know anybody else is going?
I'll see if Molly's going. She loves Morgan Wallen.
Here's the thing.
It'll be a ton of fun.
I like some of Morgan Wallen's songs. I don't like Morgan Wallen fans. Let me just put it that way.
Why? What's wrong with them? What am I going to experience?
It's just.
Are they like Georgia fans?
Yes.
No.
There's a lot of it's different. So you got
don't say that.
You've got the sorority girl crowd. Obviously, they all love Morgan, but then you kind of got the redneck trash version. To put it bluntly, sorry. It's just it's a big.
Well, where do I fit in? Classy.
You're not one of those, but you're one of the ones that likes his music. But the Morgan Wallen fans and the Morgan Wallen experience of going to a concert, I imagine, especially in Bryant-Denny with 100,000 of them, would be a lot for me personally.
Ella Langley.
Ooh, I think Molly really likes Ella
That'll
Langley.
be good.
She's so pretty.
She is so pretty.
Her sister's at Auburn, right?
Do you have her clip that I sent you with
Zazikis?
Can we have a few minutes.
Well, we got about 30 seconds.
Oh, shoot.
I can play it next.
I don't know why. Did I not send it? Oh, I was trying to not bother you this weekend because you were down on the plains, that loveliest village doing the thing.
It's such a lovely village.
This is the funniest. And I think it's funny because I love Tzatziki's, but it has Ella Langley and Theo Vaughn in it. I don't know why. It's just humorous. Maybe we'll play it on the other side.
Yeah, we'll play it on the other side.
Because we're running out of time.
That'd be fun. Okay.
Also, do we want to do... You were downstairs, so you missed this whole conversation, I think.
Yes, ma'am.
The Alabama Freedom Caucus and kind of...
Oh, I love
And I actually don't understand so please explain it.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll talk about that when we come back.
And then do the three?
And then the three.
Okay.
The three. The big three.
The normal
not
size
the mini three.
The medium three.
Yeah, not the fun size.
Oh, yeah.
What do we call it? The share size 3. Shareable 3. All right. When we come back, Freedom Caucus. What the heck is that? And the 3. We'll see you on the other side.
Those same things. And we do. The recent March for Life, you saw that Vice President Vance address the country. The next day, there was a breakfast that was basically for all of the youth, the young men and women who'd come into this country come into the city from across the country. Mm-hmm. There was a breakfast that morning. Jim O'Neill, the deputy secretary, and myself, we addressed those students, and there were over 2,000 people there. And we talked about the fact, what we're doing for life, the fact that we know little boys are little boys and little girls are little girls, the fact that we know life begins at conception, the fact that we are doing things like, for instance, through my office, the Office of the Assistant Secretary for Health, we administer the Title X funds. So let me tell you, so just recently, because of our oversight, directed by Secretary Kennedy, our oversight over Title X funds, $2.3 million of grants that had been given before us had to be returned by Planned Parenthood. $2.3 million that will no longer go to killing children, $2.3 million that will no longer go to lying to women. Because of our oversight, they gave that money back, which is a huge victory, absolutely. Mm-hmm. We make sure that we're enforcing the Hyde Amendment. Mm-hmm. President Trump, Secretary Kennedy, and myself, we are strong for this. No federal dollars are going to go toward abortion or procuring abortion services. We are strong with the Hyde Amendment, and we are making sure the Hyde Amendment is being enforced, unlike the last administration. Yes. We have made sure that monies, that when you have youth, children or youths, young girls who are taken in custody coming across the border or something, that federal dollars cannot go to providing abortion services, because that was going on in the last administration. Just totally disregarding the Hyde Amendment. We stand strong. That's no longer happening. So for those right-to-life issues, we've been incredibly strong about that, and we're very vocal about that. Again, one of the things that impresses me most about Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and he's always been this way, he really realizes that God has given an inherent dignity to every man, woman, and child, and we respect that dignity.
As an adopted person, and I know as an adoptive mother, we are so thankful for those policies. And as women who've lived through the nonsense, that the lies that have been heaped upon us, that you have to kill your child to have a life.
That's right.
We're very grateful for your stand in that regard.
Again, all of this is a privilege, but we have to do it for the country. We have to and we have to remember too that all of the wins that we have in this administration and this Department of Health and Human Services, it only takes one election cycle for things to reverse. And so we can talk about this more later, but it's incredibly important for us as conservatives, for us as people of faith, to be motivated to vote in November, to get out, support those candidates who stand with President Trump and his agenda. It's going to be more important than it's ever been. I know every election it's like, this is the most important. So I'm not going to use that hyperbole, but this is an incredibly important election in November. So I want all of the people, all of the men and women who watch this podcast, who listen to this podcast, and there are so many, I want them all to know, tell your friends, tell your families, we've got to be out there supporting candidates in congressional districts and Senate races that support the president in November.
You posted recently about gender affirming care, gender dysphoria, and kind of your work, and you just mentioned, right to life. That I would agree that is a life issue. Were you surprised when the American Medical Association came out recently and said that gender affirming care, genital mutilation, all that should be put off till adulthood? And do you think that we're maybe turning a corner on all this?
I think that is I'm so glad you asked that question, because yes, so the American Medical Association is certainly backing away from its prior stance. It was the Academy of Plastic Surgeons, I think that's the right name. The Academy of Plastic Surgeons that said, and this is landmark, they said just this past week, that we recommend that we don't do those mutilating surgeries, what we call the sex-rejecting surgeries, on anybody under the age of 19. That is huge. Mm-hmm. That is huge. And I think we are turning this corner. We can never take our foot off the accelerator, because I like to say that gender theory is like a vampire. It'll come back. You may think you've killed it, but it'll come back in the next hostile administration. So we always have to keep our foot on the accelerator for this, and we are. And I am, and President Trump certainly is. But yeah, I hope that we've turned a corner. I really do. This really started with, again, science. So we released at HHS, we released something called the Gender Dysphoria Report, and that was back in the fall. We released this report that basically looked at all the science, and we said, no, the wrong way to treat these children is to perform castrating surgeries. The wrong way to treat these children is to use sex-rejecting chemicals and hormones. The right way to treat these children is with compassionate, competent mental health care. Now, personally, as a person of faith, I personally believe that if the child's parents want this, I think pastoral care is incredibly important to support these kids, right? But we initiated that report. The report was released, and then we did something even more. We had what was called the peer review of that report. So we invited scientists, not all of whom were aligned with us, to say, review this report. Tell us what you think. Put your politics aside, go by the science. And they had to say, you're right. The science backs up exactly what you're saying about this. So I think things like we're seeing with the plastic surgeons, things like hopefully we're going to be seeing more with the AMA, really the shot across the bow was the gender dysphoria report. Because, again, Secretary Kennedy has always said, we use gold standard science to guide our decisions. That's gold standard science.
Hello, welcome back. We're already in our last half hour of the day. I don't even know how that happens. It seems to go so quickly day after day. We hope you are enjoying the show as much as we are presenting it. We would continue to love to hear from you on our text line, on our socials. Shoot us your thoughts. Let us know, as Steve Day says, what you think about what we think. But also tell us what you think. We want to know what you think, because this show, after all, is for you. All
it's
right.
okay.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
My
JP.
my OCD drives me nuts. I feel like every day this camera gets bumped.
I did walk past it, but I think you just have an issue.
He's got a little issue.
I'm a perfectionist.
OCD.
A little bit. Okay. Number one, we're going to start with the Freedom Caucus and this idea presented last week about each state legislature having their own Freedom Caucus, which I think is a genius idea. But could you dive into that and tell us what that means exactly?
Can we do... She's so on task. Can we do one, maybe two funny things before we do that?
Well, yes, darling.
You got to watch the Ella Langley, Theo Von Tzatziki's clip.
Everybody, that was just radio theater.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Drama.
Time out. We're calling an audible.
That was a fake. This is just for me because y'all probably won't think it's funny.
Well, I slept in until like 10 o'clock Saturday, but I woke up to a text. This video, Allison texted me at like 8:30 in the morning.
What are you doing up at 8:30 in the morning on a Saturday? That's not like you.
I actually am old now, so I wake up about...
But you need your rest.
I know, I do. That's why I'm a little off today.
You're not off.
You're not off.
I feel off.
Well, you're not, but that's okay.
I'm tired.
Okay. She's
all right. So
tired.
this is what awoke me on Saturday, and it made me...
That
is the bread thing.
Tzatziki.
The tzatziki?
Tzatziki.
Okay. Before we get to Freedom Caucus, this is so funny. I think George Santos listens to the show.
Hey, George.
I do love George. Maybe we can get him on sometime. Okay. 46 minutes ago, when I was in Congress, I used to talk to staff and reporters on the Hill a lot. During that time, I learned about the activities taking place in the cages, which are the storage rooms in the basement of House office buildings. I reported it to House admin chair at the time, Brian Steele, and he did nothing. He goes on to name the names of the people.
Oh, show me. I want to see.
I heard but to name a few rumors I heard about when I was there of members engaging in lewd or alleged sexual misconduct, like behavior with staff or reporters. Eric Swalwell, Tony Gonzalez, Max Miller, Dan Muser, Matt Rosendale, former rep, Ruben Gallego, Nancy Mace, Anthony D'Esposito, Mark Green, former rep from Tennessee, Lori Chavez, Richie Torres, Brian Still, Cory Booker, Bob Menendez. Now he's a former senator. Okay. More than half are Republicans. So let's don't say this issue is just a Democrat issue. George, naming names. But I cannot believe he's talking about the cages.
He did. He done mentioned them.
He actually retweeted that tweet and said, by the way, these were rumors, and I wasn't the only one to hear them. They were instances where we would talk about them amongst ourselves and just shrug our shoulders because there was not much more we could do.
Well, think about this.
Case
go ahead.
I have no intention of smearing anyone, but simply sharing this in light of the Swalwell and Gonzalez fallout. It's time we make this stuff serious or take this stuff serious.
Well, And, so Nancy Mace does some okay things, but just think about when she was at the prayer breakfast 2 years ago and she was talking about being in bed with her fiance from the podium at the National Prayer Breakfast.
I mean,
she didn't think anything of it that she was in bed with her fiance. If you're a believer, that's not in the book. So just think about how casually they talk about what they do and how believable it is, perhaps, that some of them do these things.
Well, and I guess it's technically not illegal. Like, I don't know what you do about it. It's not.
Yeah.
And I don't know if all these legislators are married. It's not illegal. It's just not a good look. And like, it's kind of like, that's like.
It's low character.
Yeah.
And we want people of high character.
But what do you do?
Well, let's just say there's a, what's the name of the slush fund? A sexual assault victim fund for congressmen, probably for a reason.
That one.
Yeah.
That fund.
Which they all
We
voted.
Still don't have the names.
Right. They all voted to keep the names.
The nickname is Hush.
And
is what the nickname is.
They claimed it was going to go through committee and do it the right way, but squirrel, what's over here? Yeah.
Yeah, we went to war.
Mhm.
Had that one.
So interesting. Okay. Now,
sorry.
Off.
Detour.
Pause. Off the audible.
And we're back.
Tzatziki.
Friends.
Here at the Masters, we're back.
Hello, friends.
Teeing off is the Republican Freedom Caucus in
What
Alabama.
is the Republican Freedom Caucus in Alabama if we're already Republican?
Ooh. Well, just like the national, our representatives in Congress have a Freedom Caucus. Now, you can have a caucus based around anything. You could have a Southeastern Conference caucus where only people that support teams in this SEC could be. I mean, you can caucus around anything. It's just a common interest. So they have the Freedom Caucus, which is basically the far right crazies, is how they're viewed. I think there are about 20 members of the Freedom Caucus in the House, and they tend to vote together as a block. And that's the whole point, is they get together and they caucus, which is talk, and they talk about the issues and they say, okay, we don't want to keep all these CRs. We want to pass a clean budget. We want to pass a balanced budget. So we're going to take our 20 votes and we're going to stick it to the man. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. They have wanted to do that in Alabama. In fact, myself and a few other people, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, talked about starting a Freedom Caucus in the Alabama House specifically. And we were kind of starting to put it together because Andrew Roth, who runs the, what is it called? The Freedom Caucus Network. Okay, so Andrew Roth is the national guy who goes around to all the states and does a state level Freedom Caucus in each state. Well, back then, the big hiccup of what my understanding was, because I had somebody that spoke to him, his issue was that Alabama is one of those weird places that all the members vote on local legislation.
Yes, which is insane.
And that's very weird.
We saw it when we were there.
Yes.
Jefferson County was like 30 minutes of,
What?
So that was what was kind of put out to us as to why the National Freedom Caucus Network was not interested in doing this, because the voting's weird and all that. And it just never really went anywhere. Well, now Barry Moore and I think Tommy Tuberville, it's kind of gotten back in the news. And Craig Monger has a story out where he talks about this happening in Alabama again. The efforts of the House Freedom Caucus led to the launch of the State Freedom Caucus. Okay, so the national led to this network, which Andrew Ross started. Okay. They are in, he says, this is what he said, told 1819 News. There are 50 swamps in the 50 state capitals, and I firmly believe they are more corrupt than DC, which is a very bold claim, but I believe it to be true. And what happens is that when the voter turns on the TV or opens their phone, they hear plenty about what's going on in DC, whether it's Trump or Kamala or the war in Ukraine or Iran or inflation, but they don't hear a lot about what's going on in their state capital. And these various state swamps like it that way. Thus far, there are 15 freedom caucuses across the country. He said he wants that number to be 50. However, that depends on state lawmakers' conservative voting records. And Alabama has not left him impressed. Quote, I can say with 100% certainty that the current crop of lawmakers are not remotely qualified for an Alabama Freedom Caucus. Now, if you have your primaries and you're able to elect more than a handful of just base conservative lawmakers, then we're definitely interested. He goes on to say that at the end, let me look. Even though Alabama is a supermajority Republican state, their budgets keep growing, either single or double digits, and with unanimous or near unanimous support. And when Democrats and Republicans are all supporting the budget, you know that the taxpayers are getting fleeced. Alabama is in the top 5 most corrupt states. Like, I don't know the ins and outs of all 50 state legislatures, but I'm confident that Alabama is pretty high up there because of all the tricks they play on their taxpayers.
Who said that?
Andrew Roth, the guy that runs the National Freedom Caucus Network.
If this makes us more conservative and more accountable, yes, please.
But it's bad when the Freedom Caucus guy is saying, we're not coming to ruby red supermajority Alabama because you're fakers.
And you know what else would be delightful is to hear people say, well, y'all don't know how the sausage is made, allegedly. You don't know how the sausage is made and how hard, because y'all notice, allegedly, that I ask every time somebody comes on, why does it take so long? You know, that's becoming my question.
That is. It's a good one.
Is why does it take so long to get anything passed? And they all give various answers, which are interesting. But it'd be interesting if the Freedom Caucus guy's like,
yeah,
just do what the people want. And I'll take you off you're probably among the most corrupt of the states.
Which is true. If you remember, there was a story that came out, I can't remember who published it a few years ago, that Alabama was ranked number 4 in
public corruption,
legal corruption, which I'm not really sure. It's basically, yeah, it's like it's not illegal, but just in the dirt and mire of how they run things, in the rules and how they spend money, even within, like I said, I didn't know, but to be like Speaker of the Alabama House, it costs $1 million.
Did y'all know that?
Just like in DC, to sit on a committee or to be in leadership on a committee, you have to buy your seat. It's insane. It's not he's the most qualified. That's what we think it is. It's like, who do you want to lead your club? Oh, well, he's very good and noble and true. You got to give me the money.
I just, that's just for free from Allison. We thought you should know that. Instead of thinking, oh, they're great. No, they just are great at getting money. Sometimes it goes along with being a great leader. Sometimes it doesn't. Depends.
Just because you're Speaker of the House, you can't make an assumption that they're not a good legislator, that they aren't conservative.
Exactly.
I'm not saying that. But the system that's set up, that's how it has to work.
Yeah, exactly. Interesting. Everything costs money. There is no such thing as a free lunch.
And people, real quickly.
Yes, ma'am.
So we talked maybe last week about campaign finance and, why it's really sweet when the person that doesn't make a lot of money gives $25 to a campaign, but the person that does make a lot of money gives the same percentage of their income maybe, and that's not cool. You see what I'm saying?
Yep. Oh, yes, ma'am, I do.
And we got some pushback of, oh no, how much money's coming into these campaigns? It's so wrong. Well, you know what? That's the system we're working with. And until there is campaign finance reform, that's the system you have to operate in. And that's the system you have to beat. So you cannot like it. I don't like it. I would change several things about the federal and state level of what, how we have it set up right now. But until you change that, you can rage against the machine and you can say it's terrible, which I would agree. but you're not going to win if you don't learn how to play within the rules that you're given.
And that is one of the things, as I not too long ago, my naive, but I probably would have told you in my head, like, okay, yeah, sure, money kind of dominates, but I still had hope that, I don't know, it wasn't as dominant of a factor as it is in terms of, not that there aren't good representatives or good congressmen, both nationally and at the state level, that are true, act on their conscience, and are real conservatives for that matter. But I'm finding out more and more as I'm in this world of politics that, yeah, money is the driving factor of everything, for good and for bad.
Yeah, it is.
That's like, if you have conservative battles that you need to fight, you need money to do those things. But also on the other side, you need money it's like money is the fuel for politics as a whole. And you're not holier than thou if you don't take certain money as a whole. I mean, it's what you do with it. It's like the saying you said of a representative that said, yeah, he gives me money and then I don't do what he asks. It's like, sure, you can paint a conspiracy or a picture with money all you want, with anything really, but that's just a fact of the game that we play in terms of politics. It's like money is the fuel for everything, both good and bad. The actions after with the money is really the point and what matters. But yeah, as you're in and you get closer to the sun, so to speak, that becomes more and more evident, at least for me, of like the money factor in politics.
It's true. And it goes back to also what you said. Some candidates are getting Simon Cowelled for the first time, that they think it's a good idea, they're going to run, and they should run. But your ideas also have to be good. And you also have to present well. That's another part of it. That doesn't mean you're going to rocket to the top. That doesn't mean that at all. But if we're operating within the system that we all know and we don't like, but we're operating in it, instead of focusing as much on all the money coming in from here and there, that's fine. But hone your message and present it well. That's another part of it, that people want to do a lot of blaming instead of, no, this message is really good and outworking. And you've also got to understand the system when you jump in. But our system is, the people who end up winning are the people who had the votes counted, not because they're pre-counting the votes, but they know who they can count on to vote for them before they even jump in the race, especially if it's a local race. So there's much more than just, I'm going to focus on all the dark money coming in. You can do that, but you're going to lose. Focus on your message and then get in office and then change the system.
Yeah. It does stink though, because, and I say this all the time, I'm so tired of losing, because in general, my candidates are not the ones with the most money. And there are a lot of really good candidates that don't win because you cannot compete with the money that's coming in and that is coming up against you. Unless you get, and this is the key, this is where it gets really icky, sticky. It's like you have to go into the belly of the beast to slay the beast. You have to start working the system, making the connections, and it might take you years to do that. So true. But that's the only way you win until we get any kind of, whether it's term limits or campaign finance reform on the state or federal level. But it stinks because there are a lot of really good candidates and people that would run that don't have a chance.
It's true.
Yeah. And so just because you have a lot of money doesn't mean you're a good candidate. And just because you don't have a lot of money doesn't mean you're a bad candidate.
It's just work on your message, work on the connections. We do have a lot of good candidates, but from experience, don't focus on the money piece. Focus on your message and getting out to the people of Alabama. Focus on that. But we are blessed, and there really are good candidates in several of the races this year. And that's a great problem to have. So there you go.
It's a good conversation.
Okay.
Do you want to end the show with the 3?
Yes.
We have 10 minutes.
I've got a good one.
Okay.
Okay, well, first we're going to do this. So this is from the Wall Street Journal. Do any of y'all have a Wall Street Journal account, by the way?
Yes, I think I do.
Okay.
Do you need it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I may, or you may need to, here, I may need to just forward you the story so that you could read all of it, because there's only so much I can read.
Okay.
But there is a deadly civil war amongst Ugandan chimpanzee factions.
Oh, I have read about this.
What?
It is allegedly a rare and deadly civil war. Science have documented what appears to be the first observed, quote, civil war in wild chimpanzees. The findings demonstrate that shifting social ties alone can fracture a once unified group and ignite sustained deadly conflict among former allies. Hold on, I'm gonna send you the article, Amy Beth, while so see if you can read more of it. But stuff like this always amazes me because animals that can't communicate like we can, animals that, like I said, can't talk like we can and can't operate like they live in such a different world than we do, but yet they can still make each other so mad that they launch a full civil war amongst each other. And it's like you can track, like it's a civil war. It amazes me. But yeah, I'm looking at some videos here on X of, I don't know if it's from this civil war exactly, but of chimpanzees, fighting with each other. It's just, it amazes me.
But there's no God. There's no creator.
No.
It just happened. Like spit in a cup and you'll have a chimpanzee that can call for all out dueling civil war.
See if I can get in, JP.
I did see an AI video of a monkey riding a dog with an AK-47 shooting it in the air, and it said that the chimpanzees in Uganda have learned how to mount. They've learned mounting systems.
Oh my gosh!
But yeah, let's see if Amy Beth can read any more of the article on her side.
I got it. Okay. A rare and deadly civil war. The dispute erupted in what was once a cohesive group of about 200 chimps.
200?
Whose ties stretch back 2 decades. Dang. Oh my gosh.
That's a family blow up.
Okay. Did you get to the point where it said we've known for a long time that chimpanzees will attack and kill their neighbors? Said primatologist John Matani, professor emeritus at the University of Michigan. Turns out they will do this even when those neighbors are former friends and allies. Oh, that sounds political.
Sounds like the Republican Party.
For 20 years, the Ngogo chimps of Uganda's Kabale National Park were living the good life by being together. They helped one another, dominated and killed apes from neighboring groups, expanded their territory, and boosted their babies' chance of survival. But alas, in 2015, the group started splitting into 2 clusters. Several male chimps who had bridged cliques within the larger group died from disease, weakening social ties, and around the same times, a new alpha male rose to dominance. That sounds so political.
Mm-hmm. This is just what's happening in California.
Wow. The split was complete in 2018. No remaining reproductive ties. Last chimp with infant parents from different groups was born in 2015. Wow. But then that's when the hostilities began in earnest. We need more videos of this.
Yeah. What I think needs to happen is somebody needs to, this is a joke, by the way. Somebody needs to go in and just like get a bunch of AK-47s and just drop them in and then leave and see what they do with them. Then we get a real civil war out of this. Planet of the Apes in real life.
Wow.
For real.
That's a joke, unless PETA is watching or whoever is the pro-animal faction. But yeah, it's so funny to me that we see them and we don't think there's any sort of communication or anything amongst it, but they get there's an organized civil war and they made each other so mad that there is literally a split in it. It's just fascinating to me. It's so funny.
Nature's
not funny.
Crazy. Keep us posted.
That's a fun story.
Maybe I need to go to Uganda and report from the scene.
I think you probably should.
I'll
go with you for help.
No, we'll just watch. You're
kid.
Italian. You can't do anything.
A kid.
Trust me. You would not blend in.
No, there's no blending here.
You would try. All right, what you got?
Mine's quick. From Wall Street Apes. And this is sad because I remember that Christina Werner McGinnis came on and talked about Snap the Chicken. Remember?
Yeah, Snap the Chicken.
So, and Brooke Rollins had been in Alabama in the last week, and they were talking about SNAP benefits. But a man is freaking out because he's at the grocery store. This is from yesterday. And he shows that all the items he normally buys now say they're ineligible for EBT. The grocery stores put up these new little signs by items saying they're no longer eligible for food stamps. It's not happening. What am I going to drink now? Not eligible. What's going to go on? What am I supposed to drink now? Not eligible, not eligible. So Wall Street Ape says, life hack, if you have a job and use your debt card, it's all eligible. He means debit card. It's all eligible to be purchased. But this man is standing in front of gold iced tea, saying he can't buy it. I am not at all pleased with what was on EBT or what was allowed before. Somebody has to make these changes, but this man is literally verklempt over what he can't buy because they've made healthy changes for those who are using food stamps to buy their food. And we should, but that should have happened a long time ago.
Yeah, this is such a good discussion. And actually, we may have to have it tomorrow because I sat down to do a video, my from the car video about this because Alabama just passed, that you can't buy candy or sodas with SNAP benefits anymore. And I am very conflicted about it, actually. Y'all want to do this now or later?
Probably.
We may want to tease it.
Yeah, because on one hand, I'm like, it's the government's, it's actually our money, but the government can allow you to buy whatever they want. And the reason that Senator Orr and Reed Ingram said, Representative Reed Ingram, is because of childhood obesity rates. And, it's like, it's not great to be eating, don't spend your money on candy and Cokes, okay? But you can still get fat off Little Debbie's and you can still be obese off chips and you can still be obese off butter. So like, where does it stop kind of thing? But I kind of get what they're doing. I'm curious with Alabama or what y'all think about it. Maybe we'll cover that tomorrow because I think it's a good discussion of like, and then it led me down to go, what about the social media bill that came like, where you have to have age verification now? Is that government overreach or is that government protection? Gets very
interesting conversation of the whole of where's the line of government, like you said, where it's too much or government's doing its job.
Maybe will you write that down so we don't forget? Because I bet we all have very different opinions. Maybe we end up at the same place, actually. I don't know. I see both sides.
Yes. Y'all know where I'm going to land.
I know where you're going to land. Anyway, I have more great news.
What?
Ken Paxton of Texas is launching an investigation into Lululemon over, I'll get to you in a second, over potential presence of toxic forever chemicals in activewear. Attorney Ken Paxton issued a civil investigative demand to Lululemon USA as part of an investigation into whether the company has misled consumers about the safety, quality, and health impacts of its products. I don't know if y'all follow along, but there is most of these athletic wear companies, it's basically plastic, it's spandex, it's polyester, it is everything that's synthetic and man-made, and you go and you work out and you sweat your gumballs off and all your pores are open and all those forever chemicals just sink into your pores and get into your body. It's like drinking a hot water bottle that's been in your car for 2 days or even whatever. When it heats up, all those chemicals leach into your water.
I didn't even think about that. So you just said it.
Yeah, it's not a good idea. And so this has been swirling for a while, but I cannot believe an attorney general is actually doing something about it.
Would y'all be shocked if I told you I have a pair of Lululemon shorts?
No, because Chris and Will have Lulu pants and they think they're great.
Because Phil was like appalled when he was talking about Lululemon one show and I said that, and he was like, I'm gonna have to take your man card away. I was like, it's one of the athletic shorts with
Yeah, they're great.
One of my friends in high school put me on. I only have one though, but they are great.
I have on Lululemon pants right now. Jared Sinclair loves Lululemon shorts.
They're
Chris says his Lulu pants are his favorite,
but
they're great running shorts.
You might not be able to have children if you keep wearing them.
Okay, yeah. Well, maybe I need to throw them away.
I'm just saying. We'll see what Ken finds out. Y'all, it was a Monday. Thanks for getting me through. I came in a little tired, but we did it.
It was a good show.
It was a good show. Tomorrow, well, we have lots happening this week, so you'll just want to come back every day. But tomorrow we'll finish the SNAP benefits, SNAP the chicken discussion. Wednesday.
Oh, it's a big day.
Wednesday, we have a really big day. Every day is a big day. We'll see y'all tomorrow.